Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Ranking Stuff. I will continue to do these. These are fun to do, and today we've got the top 15 Little Leagues in District 6, Little League Fields. I understand District 6 has gone through a lot of change, but this is the real District 6. I mean, we're going back to the glory days of District 6 with this tour here today, and we're going to be ranking the 15 fields on a four category thing here. So you can see there are four main categories. We got uniqueness of the field, the dimensions, are they unique? Are the facilities unique? I mean, because that's an important part when you're playing on another team's little league field. You want it to be unique. You don't want it to be cookie cutter. You don't want it to be similar to your field. You want it to be a fun experience. Of course, you want to have good facilities and amenities, and the good little league fields have them, and the crappy little league fields do not. Upkeep, of course, it's got to be kept in good condition, and we're talking about the field condition mostly, although we can talk about the facility condition as well. Atmosphere, it's got to have a good atmosphere, and it's hard to quantify atmosphere, how good an atmosphere can be. A lot of little league fields have great atmospheres, some have terrible atmospheres, and we will also be rewarding bonus points as our bonus stars as it applies to a certain field or to a certain little league. If you have lights, you'll get an extra point. If you have an extra major ready field, you'll get an extra point as well. And the tiebreaker will be concessions. So when you see if I go out and you see say like a 15.75 or 15.5, that means the tiebreaker was concessions because we had a couple fields tie, and I decided to make concessions the main tiebreaker. So without further ado, let's get into this, and let's go to our number 15. This is the worst field in District 6. That's right, Portland North Little League. I mean, what is there not to hate about this field? Got to start with uniqueness. It's not very unique. I mean, there are a lot of Little League fields like it. It gets a 2-star for it. Overall facilities and amenities. It's got a snack shack on the right field side. Good parking, but it's just it's just not a fun place to announce a game, to ump a game. Not to mention the people there are not very nice. Upkeep, yeah, they don't do a very good job of upkeep in Portland North, and it's been like that for many years. They do not do a very good job. And lastly, atmosphere is just not a fun place to be. It's not a fun place to play at all. It's not fun. Portland North earns 8 out of 20 stars, 0 bonus stars for them. So it was a disappointing start. But speaking of Portland, let's go to the next one. Deering Little League. Uniqueness, it does get a 4-star for uniqueness. I mean, it's in the middle of the woods. You have to walk down a trail to get there. So I guess that's unique, but everything else about it kind of stinks. I mean, the fence is unique as well. It's a pretty short porch all around. But overall facilities and amenities not very good. I mean, the closest parking lot's a half-mile away. Okay, and that just ruins the atmosphere of a Little League field. Do they have good concessions? Yeah, they have solid concessions. They do a pretty good job in terms of that, but it just gets ruined by having your parking lot on the other side of the street. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. They have a decent scoreboard, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I honestly cannot believe that this field has hosted tournaments before. Upkeep 2 stars. They do the best they can. It's not a very good field. It's never been in the best shape. So the upkeep's 2 stars. Atmosphere 2 stars as well. I mean, it's better than Portland North, but that doesn't really say much. I mean, it's hard to watch a game there, and it's not that very fun to play a game there. No bonus points awarded to Deering, and that they get a 9 out of 20 stars. Okay, next field is going to be Scarborough. I was very disappointed when I came to Scarborough. I mean, uniqueness, it's about average in terms of uniqueness. I mean, they do a pretty good job there. It's okay. Not the best, but it's okay. I mean, overall facilities and amenities average. I mean, they have a playground. They have other fields around. It's an average. They have batting cages. It's average. It's not great. Upkeep, I think they do a pretty okay job in terms of upkeep. I mean, it's Scarborough. They're gonna have the money. They're gonna have the finances to do things. So it's gonna be a pretty decent field. I mean, they've got some nice things about it. It's hosted state tournaments in the past, so it's got enough integrity for that. Where it does fall short is the atmosphere, and it really starts with, I mean, it's just not a fun place to be. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. If I live on the other side of Scarborough, I got to drive a half an hour just to get here. I mean, it's not who decided to put this field in the middle of you know what, nowhere. I mean, come on now. It ruins the atmosphere. It does. It's not a good atmosphere for playing ball. And that's the reason why Scarborough only earns 10 out of 20 stars. It was not a fun experience. Okay, next field. South Portland National. Now, if we were talking about the South Portland America wins by a mile. Start with uniqueness. Again, very cookie cutter. I mean, they've got a pretty nice view, but it's of oil tankers and whatever. If you want to count that as a nice view. Overall facilities and amenities not very good. I mean, I would say. I mean, they got your normal, the stuff you look for. Upkeep is just it's not up to snuff. It's nothing compared to South Portland American. You see those rusty chain fences. It's getting old, and they need to replace them pretty. No bonus points awarded, and also atmosphere. They have a good atmosphere. It's a 3-star atmosphere. This is the first field where the atmosphere has really been decent. I have watched Little League tournaments there in the past, and they do a pretty good job of it. They give the fans stands to sit on, unlike some other fields that have already been on this list. So it's decent, and South Portland National will be awarded 11 out of 20 stars. Okay, Cumberland North Yarmouth Little League earns 12 out of 20 stars, and uniqueness again, pretty unique. I mean, it's a little off the beaten path, but it's centrally located right off of Route 9 in center Cumberland. Overall facilities and amenities, they do a pretty good job with it. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Upkeep, pretty nice as well. I mean, it's Cumberland. They're going to have the finances to keep their fields up to date. But what it does fall short in is atmosphere. It's not a very good atmosphere at all. I mean, it's hard to explain, but when you're playing at that field, it just is not. It's not fun. It's not fun to play there. It's not fun to watch a game there. The atmosphere is just not up to snuff, and that's really hurts. It really does hurt Cumberland North Yarmouth Little League. Okay, number 10 is Wyndham Little League. Okay, Wyndham does a pretty nice job, and as you can see, their concessions weren't up to snuff because they are last. 3 teams tied at 13, and they are last at 13.25. Okay, uniqueness, pretty cookie cutter. I mean, they do a pretty nice job in terms of overall facilities and amenities. They have some decent things. They got a batting cage. The dugouts are pretty nice. Upkeep about average as well. I mean, what are we seeing about Wyndham Little League? It's pretty average. I would call Wyndham one of the more average Little Leagues out there. In terms of atmosphere, though, Wyndham's a pretty good atmosphere. It's always been fun to play there. It is a little off the beaten path, but it is still fun to play there. It's a fun experience, and I have a lot of fond memories playing at this field. It's a nice place to play. So they are 13.25 out of 20 stars. Cape Little League earns 13.5 out of 20 stars. As you can see, uniqueness, not very unique. I mean, it's very cookie cutter, but even more cookie cutter. And the reason why it's 2 stars is Cape's. This is a semi-new facility for Cape Elizabeth, and they decided to go cookie cutter with it, which is not respectable. So they earn 2 stars in terms of uniqueness. Overall facilities and amenities do a pretty nice job. 4 stars for that. It's got all the bare essentials that you need. It's got a batting cage. It's got another field. So that's more of a AAA field. I don't really count that as a major ready field, but they got the stands, they got the concessions, they got everything you need. Upkeep is going to be 5 stars. I mean, this is Cape, and their fields are always going to be some of the best out there, and they are. Upkeep is going to be 5 stars. Atmosphere, though, falls short. I mean, this is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you don't. You just might be sound trivial, but when you play Little League, you want to hear the sound of cars rushing by. That's what makes Buxton so good, Westbrook so good, Loring so good. But you don't get that here. It's off the beaten path. It's really on a side road down. Just I mean, it doesn't. It's not right. It's not a good facility at all. Okay, it's not. The atmosphere is just not good. It's really as simple as that. I really like their old field near Fort Williams a lot more. I would have rated that much higher. Although this definitely has the amenities and the upkeep that place did not have. Gray New Gloucester Little League. Now this is might sound controversial. I know a lot of people would probably have them close to the bottom, but I have Gray New Gloucester right in the middle of the pack. And as you can see, the reason why I do is because this field is so unique. I mean, it is so short. It is 180 in center. It is so short on the right side, about 150 on the right foul pole on the right field. Left field very short as well. Very unique. I even gave him a bonus point because that's how unique it is. I will give Gray New Gloucester a bonus point for it. Overall facilities and amenities, they're not up to par. I mean, this is a field that really it's not in the greatest shape, and they have batting cages, but they're not great. It's not the best field out there in terms of facilities and amenities, but it does have a good concessions stand, snack shack, whatever you want to call it, snack bar, very good, which is why it is ahead of those others. It actually tied with Cape and the one before Cape as well, Wyndham. So I mean, it's got better, but it struggles in terms of facilities. Upkeep, it's not doing very well in terms of upkeep either. I mean, it's rough. And the city of Gray really needs to focus on this field because this is a hidden gem in terms of uniqueness. You don't see this type of field anywhere really. I mean, it's very weird to play at, but it's still a fun place to play at for sure. Bonus point for uniqueness: 13.75 out of 20 stars. Number 8, Gray New Gloucester. Number 7, we get to our second South Portland team. That's South Portland National. Uniqueness is going to be 3 stars, so it's generally pretty unique, but pretty average. I mean, it's pretty short. It's not the longest field out there, but it's fun to play at. That's for sure. Facilities and amenities, they do a pretty nice job. I mean, they got everything you're looking for. They got a nice snack shack. They got a nice place to watch a game. They got a nice batting cage facility. They got a nice announcer's booth. Everything you want, South Portland American has. So that's why they're getting a 4-star. Upkeep, definitely much better than South Portland National. It's a pretty fun place to play at. And the upkeep is pretty nice. The field's in pretty nice shape. So they do a pretty nice job with that. Atmosphere, 3 stars. Pretty average in terms of the atmosphere. I mean, they do a pretty nice job. It's always been a place I like playing at. No bonus points are awarded here, and 14 out of 20 stars for South Portland American. Not too shabby, right about in the middle of the pack as well, but it's on the upper half of the middle of the pack, if you want to say. Okay, number 6. This might be a little bit of a hot take. Bonnie Eagle Little League only comes in at number 6. And it is a very unique field, I will say. I mean, what other field has lights that isn't a huge metropolitan, crap ton of money city, little town? What I mean, you got Westbrook who went to the Little League World Series, so they got a crap ton of money, and they used it on building lights and building an entire new field. Falmouth just has the money because they're Falmouth. But Bonnie Eagle decided to put in lights, and I respect that. I respect what they did. So that's a 4-star uniqueness, and the field's pretty unique as well. Overall facilities and amenities, 3 stars. They do a decent job in terms of this. I mean, they have batting cages. They have everything you need. It's pretty nice. I mean, they got a pretty good snack shack. It's not the greatest snack shack out there, which is why, as you can see, it's got 15.25 out of 20 stars. So you can already tell that 2 other Little Leagues tied at 15 stars as well. Upkeep is okay. It's not in the greatest shape. It's never been the greatest field out there. It's still a fun field to play at for sure, but it's not the greatest. Atmosphere, it's always been a great atmosphere up in Buxton. I mean, playing a night game in Buxton, there's really nothing like it. 4-star for atmosphere. Bonus points for lights, as I said before, you will get bonus points for lights, and they get one bonus point for lights. That's going to be 15.25 out of 20 stars, and Bonnie Eagle comes in at number 6. Number 5, Freeport Pownell. Again, pretty cookie cutter in terms of uniqueness. I mean, you don't really see too much uniqueness here. Really, the main draw to this field is that it is kind of off the beaten path a little bit. It's right on the Pownell border, Freeport Pownell border, and you can, when you drive up, you see the entire field, and I really like that. I really like driving down that road, and you just see the field, you see the players playing on it. It's always been a fun place to play. So uniqueness gets 3 stars. Overall facilities and amenities, they do a pretty nice job in terms of this. They got 2 little fields over there. Not a major ready field, but they have it, and they have batting cages as well. And the thing I've always liked about having another field is you can hit, batting practice on that field, and you don't have to hit it in the Little League field itself. So that's always fun. And they keep the field really, it's up to snuff for sure. It's a very nice field in terms of upkeep. They do a very nice job for that. And the atmosphere is 4 stars as well. I mean, it's a very, very fun place to play. And it's always been. It's a great atmosphere. And I really can't say enough about how good Freeport Pownell Little League is. No bonus points are awarded, so Freeport Pownell gets a 15.5 out of 20 stars. Number 4 is going to be Portland Bayside Little League. Uniqueness, not very unique at all. It's 204 all around, so you know for a fact that it's as cookie cutter as you can get as a field. They could have extended some of the fences out. They decided not to do so. So not a very unique field at all. Overall facilities and amenities, they got the batting cages. The snack shack is very good, but they don't really have a good sized, bathroom or any of that stuff. They don't have that. So overall facilities and amenities, they do a pretty decent job. It's not great. Scoreboard's okay. Upkeep is where they shine. One of the best upkept fields in the state, not just in the district. 5 stars for this. This is the first field to get 5 stars for upkeep besides Cape Elizabeth. And they really take pride in keeping this field doing well, especially if they host all-star games. It's going to be in stellar condition. And atmosphere is 5 stars. Very, very fun place to play at. You look out over the ocean, you see the city of Portland. There's nothing like this. Closest thing might be South Portland National, but you're just looking at oil tankers. Here you're looking at the ocean, you're looking at Back Bay. It is a very fun place to play a baseball game. The dugouts are very nice. You're right next to the fans. It's a fun place to play, and that's all I have to say. I mean, no bonus points are awarded here, but because Bayside had the best concessions between the 3 fields, they will get 15.75, and they come in at number 4. Number 3, this might be a little bit of a hot take, is going to be Yarmouth Clipper Little League. Yarmouth is, many people might say that Yarmouth is not, it's kind of average. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would say it's average. I mean, it's good, but it's average. The thing about Yarmouth is it's a very nice facility, and it's unique. I mean, they have a playground out in the outfield. It's not cookie cutter at all. It's very unique. I like where it's situated in terms of where it is. They have a good batting cage and facility. It gets 4 stars for uniqueness. It is a unique field. They have good dugouts. Solid in terms of buildings and infrastructure for all-star games. And they have done a pretty nice job at hosting all-star games over the years. Overall facilities and amenities, they do a pretty nice job. Of course, I talked about the playground. They do a pretty nice job in terms of that. They got a lot of things. They got what you want. They got the batting cages. So yeah, it's a very well stocked Little League in terms of facilities. Upkeep, it's, they could do better. It's an average upkeep. Um, and atmosphere is 5 stars. This is one of the best fields to play a game at in the district. It's a fun place to play. The dugouts are very nice. The mound is very nice. It's a very fun place to play. Yarmouth Clipper comes in at number 3. Number 2 is going to be Falmouth Little League, and I don't really think there's a shocker here. There were really 2 that really stand out in Falmouth and Westbrook, and you can already tell who's going to get the number 1 spot. In terms of uniqueness, Falmouth isn't too unique, very cookie cutter, similar to a lot of the fields on the list. Overall facilities and amenities, 5 stars here. They do a very nice job. They got 2 major-ready Little League fields. They do a very nice job in terms of concessions. One of the best concessions out there. Probably only pales to Westbrook. Atmosphere, or excuse me, let's go to upkeep. Very nice in terms of upkeep. We know that Falmouth's going to keep their fields in very nice shape, and for the most part, they do. Fortunately, they did change the Homer Dome from a baseball field to a softball field, which is not good. Atmosphere, 4 stars. Very nice. It's a pretty nice field to play at. Overall, pretty nice. Not the best in terms of atmosphere. There are other fields I'd rather play at, but it's a fun place to play. And of course, they earn 2 more bonus points because they have the extra major rating field, and they also have lights on their main field. So that's going to be 18 out of 20 stars for Falmouth Little League. They come in at number 2. All right, number 1 is going to be Westbrook Little League. Now, uniqueness, not unique at all. Very cookie cutter all around the board. Every field's very cookie cutter. So only earned 2 stars for that. Could have earned 3, but it's extremely cookie cutter all around. Overall facilities and amenities, have to give it a 5-star here. It is extremely well. It's extremely well stocked. Talk about the 2 fields, great batting cage facilities, lights on one field. I mean, it doesn't get much better. Not to mention that that there are bonus points that are going to be rewarded for concessions, because that's how good the concessions are here at Westbrook. Upkeep is going to be 5 stars. It's some of the best kept fields in the state. And atmosphere is going to be 4 stars as well. Very nicely kept. And it is a great atmosphere to play a baseball game at. Is it perfect? No. It's okay. It's pretty good. The dugouts are very nicely done. Everything was well thought out. And of course, this is because they made the Little League World Series and got a large bonus that they could use. And they built lights, revamped their fields. It's a very nice place to play a game, for sure. And bonus points are going to be rewarded for lights. They also have the extra field and concessions as well. Westbrook is going to earn a 19 out of 20 stars. So that is going to be it for this episode. Congratulations for Westbrook for winning this. And shame on the teams at the bottom who really need to step their game up. But thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you all next time.